But Fantus just as easily could have secured that, and we'd have a whitewash on the other side.
And the overthrow to Fantus, it could have been 14 more points. You're right, Chris. We're underway in the second half, and it's Marcus Howell with some jump to the 35-yard line. And the Stampeders will try to rekindle or at least ignite their offense here to start the second half, and we'll look at those first half statistics.
Well, you take a look at this, basically all domination by Saskatchewan. They've done everything. They've moved the ball. They had to say the one big turnover that resulted in the points for Calgary, but it's just total domination right now, and they want to make sure, because they only have 30 minutes left, and that's what Ken Oss is telling them. We have 30 minutes to secure a game in BC next week.
First down at the 35. Burris handing off to Joffrey Reynolds, who had one carry in that first half. And he doesn't get much there as he's dropped just across the line of scrimmage for a gain of 3. Henry Burris with 7 completions in that first half, 1 interception.
Well, as we look at his chart and his passing chart, he's got one big one downfield for 38 yards, but I think that he's had some real miscommunication, and I know a couple of times he's thrown the ball over Jermaine Copeland, and Copeland didn't even anticipate the ball coming his way.
And that one pick ended a good-looking 10-play drive into the wind. 2nd and 7. Riders blitzing. Burris throwing hard into traffic, and Nick Lewis has the catch and a first down.
Well, Nick Lewis has got to be a go-to guy, a spark, if you would, for this Calgary offense. He's got to be the guy that says, you know what, I'm going to get it done. Just give me the ball and I'll make things happen. Remember, he's had the big game in their victory over Saskatchewan. He had a couple of touchdowns and basically ran over some defenders from Saskatchewan.
He had his biggest game, 149 yards against the Riders. That was just his second catch of this game. Burris, play action, back to pass, in trouble, gets away, ducks the rush, throws downfield. It's incomplete, intended for Copeland. He thought he was interfered with by Lance Frazier, but there are no flags.
Well, he was really making a lot of animated effects to the official to try and draw a flag, but Lance Frazier telling him to take that acting back to acting school. Take another look at this right now. Little play action. Just going to sit back there. Pretty good protection. It collapses, but he fights through it. Now that's just a case of Copeland not getting away from the intended receiver.
Al Burris came into this game with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to prove himself to his old fans who heckled him again here today. And there's a problem getting the ball off. Flags are down, and the indication is a procedure call against Calgary.
Well, there's where the 13th man comes into play, Mark. The noise, a little disruption on the offensive line. As a result of procedure call, somebody jumps a little early.
Calgary, number 64, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Jeff Pilon, the right tackle, the guilty party. Very difficult as a tackle because you're on the outside of the ball, the farthest away from the center, and you have to really try to anticipate that snap count.
2nd and 15, and the Riders have 7 defensive backs on the football field. Burris in the silent count, can't get the ball off. We'll try a second time. Now he's got it. They drop 8. Burris firing and wide open as Brett Ralph drops to the turf. Did he hold on? He lost control of the football and went down like he was shot at the 39, but they're going to spot it and have a conference.
Well, that was interesting because he was so wide open. And as you mentioned, the Saskatchewan defense had 7 cover guys, and they're just going to drop back and try and take away every zone. But take a look at Maurice Lloyd. He kind of gets caught up with Eddie Davis, and I think that he's trying to slide out farther to the width of that field. He just can't get there, and that's the reason Brett Ralph is so wide open.
Look at the catch. He saved it between his knees.
That's a nice job.
And Ken Austin has thrown the challenge flag. He doesn't think the ball was kept off the field.
Well, it definitely looked like on that replay, as we saw it, that he had tucked it and then squeezed it between his knees, not allowing it to hit the turf.
Ralph
Saskatchewan is challenging the completion of the Calgary pass.
Ralph's had a career year, and this is 3rd season of the CFL. 695 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. That would be a 24-yard advance if it's ruled